Hello, everybody. Welcome to season 2, episode 42. And I'm so happy tonight I get to interview my friend Kareen. And we are going to start by telling y'all the purpose of why I'm doing this video for my YouTube channel. It is to spread awareness and to advocate for SMA. And at the end of the video, I will share a link. And if you want to share with your friends and family, that would be wonderful. And if you can, there will be a link to donate to Cure SMA, which your money would go towards research and medical equipment and lots of wonderful things. But if you can't do that, we hope that you just enjoy watching and help us spread awareness for SMA. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, Kareen. Tell us your name and where you're from.
Yes, hi everyone. Thank you, Jana, for having me tonight. My name is Kareen Zaitunsian. I live in Western New York and
Mhm.
Rochester.
I bet it's cold up there already, huh?
It is getting cold. It is getting cold, yeah.
I bet. I'm in
Okay.
Louisiana, so we're still in the 70s down here. So
Lucky you.
I know, but we go from hot to freezing all of a sudden. So
Sure.
I don't know when the really cold is coming, but they're saying soon. So, well, how old are you?
How old am I?
Mhm.
I am 49.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you're close to my age, a little older. That's why I'm trying to find the variety of ages of people to interview with SMA because I want to show, like, especially the little kids that are newly diagnosed, that they can live a full life and into
Right.
adulthood like we all are, even though they have SMA. So, um, tell us how old were you when you were diagnosed, and what type do you have?
Sure, sure. I was diagnosed at age 4. I actually didn't live in the States. I was born in Greece, Athens, Greece,
Okay.
overseas.
Uh-huh.
And when I was about 2 years old, um, my parents knew something was different. The
Uh-huh.
development wasn't the same. And the doctors in Greece, and it's interesting because I've heard whether it be in Greece or in another country or in the United States, I've heard the same story be told that doctors didn't really know at that time what was going on, but they did tend to give us a very short lifespan and said, that I likely wouldn't live past my fourth, or yeah, I think it was somewhere around 2 to 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
um, and we were very blessed because my father had some connections in the States,
Uh-huh.
and we were able to come here to get more formally um, more formal genetic testing done.
Uh-huh.
And I was it was determined I had type 2 SMA.
Uh-huh.
And after that, my father moved mountains in order to get our family to be able to come to the States. And it's kind of a funny story.
Uh-huh.
They were young. They were young parents. They had no clue what
Yeah.
the world of disability was. They had no
Uh-huh.
clue. what muscular dystrophy was. They were really, really new to this. They didn't know anyone with a disability,
Oh,
physical
wow.
or mental, or um, and my father tells the story that when he was sitting and speaking with the doctor that was able to diagnose my late brother and I,
Mhm.
um, he said to himself, I don't know, if nothing else, he knew that there were more television stations in America than there were overseas.
Mhm.
And if he pictured a life of variety for me, it was going to be like if I had to be at home and watching television,
Mhm.
then at least let me be in a country where there's more television stations.
Uh,
So
but
that was his impetus for moving the family. And the irony of all of this is that I don't even watch television. I never was into television.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Little did he know that
Yeah,
you would not just be watching television, huh?
right, right.
Oh,
But
wow.
it was just a gut feeling he had, and he knew, he didn't know really what the opportunity was here, but he knew that it was probably going to be better.
Wow. I bet that's interesting. I love you're the second person I have interviewed like from another country who was diagnosed in another country, and it's so interesting to hear your story and how they do everything in different countries. And
Well, I was diagnosed here, but
yeah,
yeah, they didn't really know.
they didn't know, yeah, what was wrong there. Well, so how old were you when y'all moved to the United States?
I was four. I was
You
four.
were four. Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you probably don't remember much of Greece at all, do you?
Very little. I had the good fortune of going back there as an adult. It was a dream of mine.
Oh, wow.
And I also serendipitously still kept in touch with and we I had what I called the second mother in Greece,
Mhm.
um, who had lived in the apartment complex that we lived in. So I was able to go to the apartment complex that we spent my first 4 years of life, and
Mhm.
it was very familiar. It,
That is so neat.
that was a wild experience. Yeah. It
I
was,
bet. Well, that's always been a dream of mine to go to Greece. Oh my gosh.
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
That's what I've always heard. Well, how is that, while we're talking about this, how is the accessibility? Was it hard for you to get around then?
So I strategically chose Greece after they held the Olympics, the
Oh,
Summer Olympics in there.
mm-hmm.
So when a country hosts the any Olympics, there's
Uh-huh.
there's also the Paralympics
Uh,
afterwards. So
yeah.
they're you know when you're a host country, you make concessions that
Yeah.
you had to do before. So I
Mm-hmm.
went I went in 2006, and it was better than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
The I could go on and on about all the wonderful experiences
Mm-hmm.
I had. It's more the people and the culture. It's just a very warm-blooded, friendly,
Oh, yeah.
fun culture and
Mm-hmm.
historical. As far as getting around, it was a challenge, but I still have to pinch myself. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
after the Olympics, they had built a platform lift on the
Mm-hmm.
side of the Acropolis.
Uh,
So I was actually able to go to the grounds of the Acropolis, which never in my wildest dreams did I think I could do that before.
No.
So there were, yeah, there were improvements for sure.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and that was, that's almost 20 years ago. So hopefully
Yeah,
in these next 20 years, they've also made further improvements. But
improvements.
nothing, nothing compares to, from what I've seen, to the
Mhm.
US.
Yeah.
These places are lovely to
Mm.
visit, and but no regrets. I mean,
Yeah.
I love living where I live.
Yeah. 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 I know. I've just seen pictures and it's beautiful. But I've always said I would love to go see it one day for sure. But so I was about to ask if you had any other family members. You mentioned your late brother, so he had SMA as well.
Yes, he did. He was
Wow.
2 years younger than me, and he passed when he was 20 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
What type was he?
the same.
The same.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Do y'all know of anyone else in y'all's family, or was it just the two of y'all that had it?
No, we don't. Our our background is Armenian,
Mhm.
and there's history of Armenians. It's a very we have deep rooted history of challenges, and
Mhm.
there was a in the early 19th hundreds there was a genocide, so a lot of my ancestors were killed. So we really don't have, a lot of
Oh, yeah.
means to go back to the.
Yeah, to go back to all that. Yeah. Wow. So do you have any more siblings, or it was just the two of you?
It was just the two of us.
The
Yep.
two of y'all. Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
And we have a very small family. I have six cousins altogether.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's no presence of muscular dystrophy or NMD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how was your childhood growing up with SMA? Like, how was it going to school? Did you have an aide with you at school, or did you kind of navigate it all on your own?
No, I was very, very fortunate, Jana.
Mhm.
I did my parents ended up moving into a district that was very supportive of inclusion, at,
Mhm.
at least at the time. I
Mhm.
don't know if things have changed now, but
Yeah.
um, so my brother and I we had, well, until fifth grade, I didn't have any paraprofessional that
Mm.
stayed with me, although he did. He was a little bit on the physically weaker side, so they started him off a little earlier. I was able to get by until about fifth grade
Mhm.
to not have a full-time
Mhm.
paraprofessional with me. But from fifth grade until graduation, I had one person. I was so fortunate that there
Yeah.
was no turnover, and the school was extremely. I grew up in a small town called Pittsford, and
Mhm.
they are extremely supportive, and really they bused us um to go to another school that had a warm swimming pool. So we started every day at 6 a.m.
Oh,
swimming.
oh, wow.
That was our physical education,
Uh,
but it was, and we had, one-on-one swim instructors. I did that every single day until I graduated from high school.
wow, that is amazing.
It was really
Yes.
very grateful, very grateful. We were. we were among we were, I was the second person
Mhm,
from what I've heard
mhm.
in the whole district that had, if it, was in a wheelchair, basically.
Wow, yeah.
And my brother was a third. So,
Yeah, it seems like our people around our age, it's like we kind of paved the way for all the schools and all the, because I know I'm from a small town too, and I was the first in a wheelchair at the school.
mhm,
And the way my town does, we went to like five different schools and for different grades. And every time I would start a new school, they would have to build ramps or get lifts. And I mean, thank goodness that I had a great school district and, they were willing to do all of that. But yeah, and I was the same way. I had a one-on-one aid as well, which was amazing. Because I know now I talk to younger people with SMA, and they don't even offer help in the schools anymore. And,
right.
they have to rely on their peers to help them, or their parents have to go to even help them go to the restroom at school. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's so crazy. So I think we definitely lived in a good time for that, for sure.
Yeah. I think yeah, for sure. We were around
Yeah.
that time where the, you know, acts had been starting to pass, the
Hmm.
Rehabilitation Act and the,
Hmm.
ADA eventually. And
Yes, yes. Well, did you go on to college after graduation?
yes, I went
Hmm.
on to a four-year college locally, and I studied political science. And I started off as a biology major, so
Oh,
it was quite a shift.
yeah.
Uh, and then I went on to law school. And
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, that is awesome. Did you live at home through all of that, or did you live on your own?
No, it was a deal I made with my parents that
Hmm.
if I was gonna stay local, because originally my dream was to go to California. My extended family is in California, and I had a very romantic view of going to college in somewhere like Pepperdine, or like some beautiful
Yeah,
ocean college. And then reality set in, and I started looking at schools locally. And but I said, if I was, it was sort of like I really wanted to have the full, in my mind, I would have had the more full experience if I lived on campus. So I,
yeah.
although it was only half an hour away, I lived on campus, and
Hmm.
I had a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Well,
I
that's
loved my college years, both undergrad and graduate school.
hmm well, that's awesome. Did you have caregivers, or what did you do?
Yeah, so it was the first time in my life that I wasn't depending on my mom for
Hmm.
caregiving. So I was extremely I had more energy back then, and I was, extremely determined to do it on my own. And so I went through a home care agency. I had home health aides that came to the campus, and we made arrangements with the campus for them all to have, keys. Um, and then when I moved slightly out of town to moved to Buffalo for law school. And at that time, unfortunately, I had gone very, very ill my first semester in law school, and I was in intensive care for like a whole month, and it was a very trying time, but at that point my respiratory demands were greater, and I they had to up my care to nursing
Mhm.
care.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. Well, I'm assuming you've recovered from all of that.
Yes, luckily, yes.
Yes,
Yeah, it took me, I was set behind a little bit. I had to go to school and during my summers to catch up
I
and
catch it. Yeah. Oh, no, those respiratory viruses, they can do a number on us, that's for sure.
yeah,
Uh,
I
that's,
learned a lot of life lessons during that time. I was very, I mean, determined is a nice way of putting it, but it was a bit hard-headed and didn't take care of myself first.
yeah,
And I saw where that got me. So,
yeah. Oh, I was the same way when I started college. I go back and look at pictures. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so skinny. And I was like, I don't know how I did that. Like, I only slept like a few hours a night and, just
yeah,
go. But I guess we're young and, yeah, like you said, we have a lot more energy back then. When we were younger, but, well, that's awesome that you went to law school, and that's another reason why I wanted to do these interviews to, to show, especially the younger people with SMA, that you can put your mind to it, and there's a way to figure out how to do it. And
oh
you
yeah.
can accomplish your dreams, that's for sure.
Mhm.
So, well, what are you doing for your career now?
So I do practice law.
Uh-huh.
I I started, do you want the background too?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
I started in dabbling in family law when I was right out of law school. I had a what they call a clerkship with a family court judge,
Uh-huh.
um, which was very eye-opening. I loved it. It was a great experience uh,
Uh-huh.
working in family court, and but it was not one of those jobs where you could just turn your mind off when you went home. And
Uh-huh.
it, I, I mean, I admire the people who can do that for decades and decades, but
Yes.
um, I wasn't. I didn't think it was going to be for me.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, so my career path took me from there to doing dabbling in some disability law,
Uh-huh.
um, disability advocacy, I should say. And then I got a short stint with the district attorney's office here. And then this opportunity with a local law firm fell in my lap. And, um, you know, if you had told me in law school that I was going to work for a private mid-sized firm
Uh-huh.
doing business litigation, I would have laughed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have believed you. That was not at all where my mind was when I went to law school. But
Yeah.
I love it. I love my firm. They have been very accepting, inclusive, and um, I've worked with some phenomenal lawyers, and so that's where I'm at now. It's been 19 years at
Well,
the same firm.
at the same time, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that is so neat. So you work full time every day?
I don't work full
Yep.
time. I
Uh-huh.
actually work very few hours,
Uh-huh.
and that was part of the reason I didn't think that a private firm would be a good fit for me because
Uh-huh.
I um it's a very traditional industry,
Yeah.
and you know, for them to accept a very part-time, lower, fewer hours than part-time,
Uh-huh.
I didn't think that they would be open to that. But
Uh-huh.
um, a lot. I'm sure you had this experience too. Along the way, you meet some great people in your life, and people that really stick their necks out for you. And
Uh-huh.
even though they might not know you totally, and
Uh-huh.
that's how it was when I first interviewed at the firm I'm in. And I had an incredible managing partner that really had my back, and
Uh-huh.
he said he's gonna make it work.
Wow,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, they accepted it, and I go in 2 afternoons a week.
Uh-huh.
And I do any other work from home remotely. This was long before COVID, long before,
Uh-huh.
Zoom and all that. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Well, that is so neat. Yeah, when you find those kind of people, you definitely want to thank God every day for those because,
yeah,
yeah, that's awesome that they allow you to have that flexibility, and I'm sure they know you're a great employee, so I'm sure that's what matters to them the most. So,
sorry, you broke up a little bit.
okay, that's okay. I know I was wondering, it said my internet was unstable a second ago, but hopefully it won't do that again.
No
Hopefully
problem.
not. Well, are you married or do you have a partner or anything? No.
No, no, no.
Hmm. You're just still single. I am too, so
Yeah,
that's another thing I wanted to share, especially the younger girls, even though if you don't get married and don't have a family, you can still have a full life with your career and
yeah, yeah,
friends and your family.
definitely, definitely.
Yes. Well, what kind of medical equipment do you have to use every day?
Um, Lots. Well, I have aside from the obvious, the wheelchair,
Uh-huh.
uh, I have a height adjustable bed or like hospital bed,
Uh-huh.
um, a nebulizer that I
Uh-huh.
use 3 times a. My pulmonary regimen is pretty extensive. I actually have one lung that's fully collapsed. So from childhood, I've been grappling with whether to get a trach or not get a trach, and I have managed to be very proactive and um, managed to so far. I mean, I'm completely open to it if it happens, but
Uh-huh.
at this point, I've been able to be very proactive in my pulmonary regimen. So
Uh-huh.
uh, I spend 6 hours a day, if you can believe that, doing pulmonary routines. So I have a nebulizer, I have a cough assist, I have a oscillating vest,
Uh-huh.
and I have a non-invasive ventilation. I also have a ceiling lift. I have a shower chair, and myriad of assistive technologies, like, you know, reachers and
Uh-huh.
automatic, voice activated light switches and
Yeah.
door openers and
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Well, I know I use all the assistive technology too, especially the Alexas and the the phones and all that. And we're so fortunate that we can have all that now,
Yeah, very
and
much.
to help us in our everyday lives. So, yeah, so how I'm just curious to know, how did your lung collapse? Was it a pneumonia or what?
Yeah, when I was in fourth grade,
Uh-huh.
it was a bad year for my physical health.
Uh-huh.
I had a back surgery, the spinal fusion,
Oh
and
yeah. Uh-huh.
unfortunately, right afterwards, I had a pneumonia that was quite bad, and that's when I collapsed, and I
Oh.
never was able to recover. And
Uh-huh.
then I also had a hip surgery, and it was one of those, one
Yeah,
of those years.
one after the other.
It
Oh,
was one thing after another.
yes. Well, I had one of mine collapse one time, but it was only partially, thank goodness. Uh,
Yeah,
it came back, and thankfully I have been good. I do sleep at the BiPAP, like you were saying, and I have all those, the vest and the cough assist, and I have all that too, but thankfully I only have to use it when I'm sick.
yeah.
I've been thankfully doing okay without it. Although it's probably better to do it every day, like you were saying, but
Yeah, I found it. I mean, there's not there's not mounting evidence like
uh,
for a lot of the stuff, like for especially the nebulizer and the vest, but the cough assist, I do believe in that.
yeah,
I do believe that doing that daily is has greatly improved my respiratory health. Uh,
yeah,
I I was it was described to me in a very interesting way one day by a provider. They said that because I didn't want to, especially in college. I mean,
oh yeah,
the last thing you want to do is like take time out to do treatments.
yes, yeah,
Um, but they likened your lung tissue to a rubber band.
uh-huh,
And when you don't use a rubber band, what happens to it? It becomes like frail and it tears, right? It
uh-huh,
becomes
yeah,
like hardened and tears. It's not as pliable. And our lung tissue apparently is similar to that. So because we can't take as deep breaths because of our diaphragm muscles,
uh-huh,
we're not expanding our lungs to the capacity that they can go. So the cough assist does that. I mean, a lot of people think of the cough assist as only um, used for like being able to bring mucus up, but that's not the only purpose of it.
uh-huh,
So even if it's 10, I'm going to, as your elder,
yes,
I'm going to, encourage you to just try like maybe 10 minutes a day, uh,
yeah,
just to have that, you know,
yeah.
pliability, I guess.
Yeah, to open it up. Yeah, that is true. Does it, whenever I use it, but I don't know if this is because I only use it every now and then, does it ever pop your ears really bad or no?
Yeah, so the pressure you do
Yeah.
have to start yeah, low. You have to start lower.
Uh-huh,
I was very much I didn't think it helped me in the beginning. I was
uh-huh,
very much against it. I thought it was very uncomfortable.
uh-huh.
But I finally the key to me was it was always introduced to me when I was sick.
Yeah.
Every time I was sick, I had to use a cough assist and I was
Uh-huh.
already down. It's like, and
Yeah.
I just didn't have the strength or the capacity to do it.
Uh-huh.
So finally, um, one of my providers reasoned with me and said, you really should try it when you're not sick
But you're not
and,
sick. Yeah.
and get used to it when you're not sick. And I did that. And I was like, okay, I'll give it one more chance when I'm not sick. And I started off really low and I have increased my very incrementally, like increased my pressures.
Mhm.
Um, so it is, yeah, you definitely want to start
Lower. Yeah.
low, especially if you're not doing it when you're sick, then you
Mhm.
have the liberty to do that. Like it doesn't need to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, about a year ago, I caught this random virus and it was called the metanema virus. I never heard of it, but it's a type of respiratory flu pretty much. And I was in the hospital for a few days because it got to the point where I was coughing so much I couldn't even hardly eat or drink or anything.
Yeah.
And they came in there every 4 hours or to do the vest and the cough assist and but they were amazed because it never every time they did the cough assist it would never pull the mucus like I would never cough anything up.
Hmm.
And we kept turning the pressures up, and the only thing that helped was I figured out that the hospital bed that I could tilt my head like down lower than my feet,
Yeah.
and I would get people to like push on my stomach to help me cough, and to me that worked the best out of anything.
Yes, yeah. Postural draining, like I
Yes,
don't think they use that as much now, when
no,
but when we were younger, I know they used to do the postural draining and
yeah.
cupping, like with the physical cupping with your hand. Uh,
Yes. Yes.
and that used to help me a lot. And
Yeah.
I do have people press them. I do compression. I call it squeezing.
Yes.
Um, I even have my late brother came up with a song about it.
Oh, that's funny. Oh,
It was a little jingle.
I know. Well, I know. And it's so funny because we get the nurses to help do it. Because my poor mom was with me and she was exhausted. Because, I mean, she was doing stuff for me 24/7. Even
Yeah.
though I was in the hospital, she was still. And so sometimes I would ask for the male nurse because I'm like, they're stronger. And they were like, we're so scared we're gonna like break your rib. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you're not. I'm like, do it. It's fine. And that helped me the best. But and then some people say that doesn't help them, that the Huff machine does it better for them. So I think we're all just different, but that's me.
Yeah, I mean that's life, right? Everyone
Yeah,
has to tailor it to their own, like what
different.
works for them. I
Mhm.
pull out all the stops. I mean, when I'm sick,
I do
I
too.
I do it all. I do all of it.
Yes.
Every every physical. I am not. I don't love taking medicine. So
Mhm.
anything that's physicianal or
Mhm.
physical, that I prefer that. And I
Mhm.
also, I'm a big, I do believe in like, so I start my day every day with a glass. I really like warm water, hot water. That serves me really well. I live in a cold environment or
Yeah.
cold temperatures, so
Yeah.
it's a little easier to enjoy. I don't know if I lived in a humid
Yeah.
weather if I want to live if I would want to but I do even in the summer I start every day with lemon, hot water, and honey, and I it has actually served me really well. Local honey, I have
Yeah.
to specify that, but
Mhm.
I I've had seasonal allergies, and a lot of I found as I grew older that a lot of my sicknesses actually started with allergy problems because
Uh-huh.
I had a lot of postnasal drip into my lungs, and I
Uh-huh.
couldn't control the mucus, and then it would build up and cause infections.
Uh-huh.
So if I nipped it in the bud with the
Yeah.
allergy control, then I've actually been very, knock on wood,
Yeah.
much healthier.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard that. I need to try and I love stuff with women. I'm not huge on honey, but I'm sure it would be good with women. And I'm the same way. I love hot chocolate. I can drink hot chocolate in Louisiana summer, which is like 100 degrees, and everybody's always telling me, "Are you crazy?" I'm like, "Well, y'all drink y'all's coffee. I'll just drink the hot chocolate." And
exactly,
I
exactly.
know, but
It,
I love hot stuff too. Yeah,
yeah, it's very comforting.
yes, for sure.
And then I feel like the when you have mucus, the hot stuff and the lemon really
Uh-huh.
draws it up. So
Uh-huh. Yeah,
not to
yeah,
get
I love lemon. I can just drink just straight lemon juice. I love it.
oh same,
Yeah,
same.
I always have people are like, you don't like it with sugar and stuff. Like, no, I like it just like that. But,
Yeah.
um, so yeah. But what about vehicle? Do you have a modified vehicle as well, or no?
Yes, I have a minivan that I can't drive myself, but
Mhm.
um it's a side entry
Uh-huh.
um ramp, and my friends, family, staff will
Uh-huh.
drive.
Well,
So
yeah, that's what. Yeah, I had too. So, well, you talked about your technology some of it earlier, but do you have any life hacks that make your life easier every day that you do?
so the bane of all of our existence, I think, is bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I mean, even as a lawyer, I cringe at the amount of paperwork that I have to do, and I ask providers to do. And I have really um come to feel or have the notion that if you do it yourself, you're going to be more well positioned to do it right.
Uh-huh.
So I am very transparent with my when I interview new
Uh-huh.
doc new doctors or
Uh-huh.
new providers. I ask them if they are comfortable, if because I am well versed in what I need, and if they are comfortable with me providing them drafts per se of forms, filled out in advance. And if they, could just, if you take away the burden from, the busy providers, and you're intimately most knowledgeable with what you need. I find that if I just fill out the forms and then allow them to review it and sign it, and always keep photocopies on your computer, so you can just, if possible, if you could just reprint, because it's rare that these forms are changed within 6 months.
Uh-huh.
So um I I think that has saved me a lot of anguish.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Good thing to do for sure.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, what about, I know you said in college you had caregivers and all, but what about now? Do you still have them?
caregivers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do. I have almost around the clock. There, like right now, there are. 2 to 3 hour gaps
Mhm.
where I don't
Mhm.
have anyone, or when I'm at work, I don't have anyone. I do have an assistant actually. The firm, fortunately, it's part of the arrangement we worked out that they do provide an assistant for me that picks me up, takes me to work,
Oh,
and stays with
wow.
me, um, and then brings me home. So you know, I you make I negotiated this in advance. I receive nowhere near the salary of what a lawyer receives.
Yeah.
But I have these other needs that are being met by the firm. So
Mhm.
um it works out for me.
Well, yeah, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Because I know that's a lot of people with SMA, their fear of like, they want to take a full-time job and they know that they can do it, but then they have to rely on someone to come get them and bring them. And, unfortunately nowadays, a lot of people are not reliable, and then that makes it look bad on us. So
Yeah.
that is so awesome that they did that for you. Uh,
Well, and they've given me the autonomy. Like I find the people. The burden is not on them.
on
I,
them.
I have to find the people that
Uh-huh.
so I do have a mixture. It's a mix of nurses at home. I have
Uh-huh.
LPNs that come in.
Uh-huh.
I have driving staff that is through another program that help me do like community integration type work, and then the job pays for the staff to
At
help
your
me at
work.
work.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. At least you get to choose them and
Hmm.
so you know the best kind of person for you, and that is so awesome.
Yeah. I'm very grateful. As I said,
Yeah.
they've thought outside the box, and you
Yeah.
know, I am proud. I am definitely, my firm is over 165 years old, and
Wow.
I'm probably the first person that they've done, made these type of arrangements or
Uh-huh.
so
That's really neat. Really
yeah.
neat. Wow. Well, are you on any kind of treatment for SMA or
I
no?
do- yes, I take Evrysdi. I
Okay.
started that in November.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming up on
Uh,
my
Oh, hold
4 year
on one
anniversary.
second.
oh, you got you busy?
Okay, I'm sorry. My dad just came in. I'm sorry.
Not a problem.
Okay, so go ahead. So you're on the RISD?
Yes, yes, yeah. I'm on the liquid form at the moment. I'm looking into perhaps the pill form.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I saw someone I interviewed. They actually showed me the pill and how little it is. I was shocked. That
Yeah,
that is awesome. So especially if you travel, you don't have to worry about the liquid and staying refrigerated and all of that. Well,
right.
how do you feel like you've been had any improvements on it, or has it kept you stable, or what have you noticed?
It's really hard to quantify. Yeah,
Uh,
it's I I think I can't say that it's done much as far as my mm, range of motion or reach or anything like that. But the people around me, like some of my closest friends,
uh-huh.
feel like it has improved my speech. They said that, I speak louder than I used to. I don't know, honestly, if it's the RISD or if it's the my father who is hard of hearing, and I've had to project so that
Yeah.
he he can hear me, or maybe a combination of both. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I think maybe it's helped my projection of voice and it's helped my endurance a little bit throughout the day. Because when I'm not on it, sometimes I have to go off of it in case, I'm taking a course of antibiotics or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Or if I'm hospitalized, it's a little harder to have access to
Uh-huh.
it. So I've gone off of it for maybe 10 days, and I noticed that my stamina isn't the same.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny because I actually was on the RSD as well. I'm on Spinraza now. I switched back, but I used to be on it. And whenever I was on it, some of my friends and family told me that as well about my voice and my speech. And yeah, I don't know. It's like you said, it's so hard to tell because, sometimes we're like, is this really happening, or is it just the fact that I know I'm on the medicine and you don't know, is it really a mental thing or a
like
physical
this,
thing? I guess it's
yeah.
hard to tell, but hopefully it's doing its job and it's keeping us stable and you know.
Well, my threshold for taking it was as long as I didn't have ter or noticeable side effects, then
Uh-huh.
bad side effects, then I was willing to take it.
Uh-huh.
And I like knock on wood again, I haven't noticed any bad side effects from it. So
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, have you ever tried any of the Spinraza or no, just a roasty?
I chose not to do Spinraza because um there was I was gonna need to do it with a guided like um what I'm the name is escaping me. Like cervically,
Yes.
like they would have to apport, and
Yeah.
they weren't necessarily doing that in my area. So I would have had to travel
Mm.
outside of my area, and I didn't feel like that was going to be feasible,
Yes.
especially with work and
Yeah.
taking
Yeah.
time off. And so I
Yeah.
I waited for the Evrysdi to, and then I've never tried the Spinraza.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just like to ask too, because I know there's probably a lot of people that will watch this that are trying to make the decision, if they're going to take one and which one they want to take. And so I just like to ask everybody, like, why they chose that one. It's so
Yeah,
amazing to me to think that we actually have choices.
right?
Considering, yeah, considering years ago we had nothing and now we have choices, which is so crazy. Um,
It's funny. It's funny. I wasn't when Spinraza was being developed and I had heard about it. I asked my neurologist because I wasn't crazy about the thought of a spinal a spinal, injection.
yes.
So I I asked, I'm like, so when's the pill coming out? And she's like, I don't know, but it
Mhm.
could be in your lifetime. And it's amazing to me, and I feel very fortunate that here we are, and there's a pill.
I know. I
Yeah,
know. It's so crazy to think how far they've come with the research and
yeah.
everything. It's amazing. And Yes, and hopefully in the future there's going to be even more um, to add to what we're taking already, and that's going to be amazing to see what that will do. So, yeah, but well, it was so nice talking to you, and I know it's probably getting late your time, even though we both sober night owls. So.
Right.
I think that might be an SMA thing too, because I've talked to quite a few people who are night owls as well. So I
Yeah, maybe it's a
don't know. I
common thread.
don't know, because I am too. So I'm so glad this time worked out for both of us. But I want to ask you one last thing before we go.
Yeah,
What is the one thing you would like to advocate the most for the SMA community?
it's a good question. Especially when there's so much
Mhm.
that needs advocating for, but
Yes.
really independent living, really
Uh-huh.
making it uh not exceptional, more expected. Like a really, I think at least my experience has been when you're young. I think this is overall the experience of most people that when you're young, you're supported.
Uh-huh.
There's systems in place that
Yes.
you're very supported, and then when you pivot to adult life,
Yeah.
we all kind of fall apart, and it's just, but I mean, there's absolutely our friends, there's absolutely a way to live a very fulfilling, engaged
Uh-huh.
life, and, fully to somehow to advocate with my work with the great uh NMD United and uh excuse me one second.
That is fine.
So just just advocating for for independence of adults and independent living and full integration in society.
That is a good one. Because I agree, when we're young and, we have a lot of support and a lot of programs, like you said, to help us along the way. And then it's like once you turn 18, you just gotta figure it out on your own, and um yeah, I definitely agree. And thank God most of us have supporting families and friends to help us along the way, and
Right.
great caregivers too. So yeah, that's a really good one though. Well, I have so enjoyed talking with you, and
Likewise.
I know and meeting you tonight, and I hope that everyone else watching has enjoyed this video as well. And if you
Thank you for
could,
doing
uh,
Thank you for doing this. Thank you. I mean, this, as you know, and as many people know, we lost a powerhouse this past weekend in our community, Alice Wong, and she gave a forum for raising uh, the voices of people with um, muscular dystrophy and all disability, and I really appreciate you providing another avenue for
well,
people.
thank you. Thank you. I enjoy it, and I hope everybody else out there, enjoys watching or listening, whatever they're doing. And yeah, like I said, I'm doing it to help the younger ones along the way as well, to show them, that they can do anything they want to do. And
Yeah.
we don't let SMA stop us. So, you can still live a normal everyday life. So,
Right. And we've met very remarkable people. I've met
yes,
very
yes,
remarkable people.
yes, I have. I've met all different careers and people with SMA who have children, and yeah, it's been an amazing journey so far. So
Right.
yeah, please just share my channel with all your friends and family, and if they would like to donate to Cure SMA, that would be wonderful. But if not, I hope that they just enjoy watching and listening. So, but I will hopefully talk to you again soon. And
Yeah.
thank you again.
Yes, of
Uh,
course.
all right, bye.
Bye now.